CNN isn't the only mainstream media outlet to have a problem with Obama using the N-word in a very real discussion about race. Let's listen to the folks over at Fox and Friends and hear what they have to say.
All right, so let's talk about something that just came out. I did not know this, but one of the hottest podcasts in the country is WTF with, I think his name is it Greg Maron?
It's Marc Maron.
Marc Maron. The president had a chance to sit down and talk to him about race in America. We're going to bleep it out, but he uses the N-word. Listen.
Racism, we are not cured of. And it's not just a matter of it not being polite to say in public. That's
pause it for a second, actually.
The measure.
You know, I would like to say this. How dare you bleep that out? I will give CNN credit for actually airing it uncensored. Because if you think the President of the United States didn't say that word with every intent of that word being heard, you're delusional. And to bleep it out is trying to take away from the point the President of the United States, Barack Obama, was making. If you're going to complain about him saying it, at least have the integrity to actually play it. Continue.
Of whether racism still exists or not. It's not just a matter of overt discrimination. Societies don't overnight completely erase everything that happened 200 to 300 years prior.
Okay, so there's the President of the United States using the N-word. He doesn't just say N-word, he actually uses the word. So today people are going to be talking, Brett, about whether or not it is appropriate for the President to use the N-word and whether or not it is beneath the dignity of his office.
Yeah, I think he was speaking on that podcast that is known for some crude language, apparently, sometimes, some salty language, and chose to say that. Listen, he is the prerogative, I guess, to say those things when talking about racism from his personal knowledge, and it has a unique perspective, obviously, as the first African-American president. But I think it'll raise some eyebrows, and you'll probably have the White House respond.
Sure, I think many people wondering if it was only there that he would say it and not perhaps in a State of the Union or a more public address, if he's only doing this because he feels, cloaked in the podcast that he felt safe to do it there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, it's the venue.
Yeah.
So, but
venue.
he is the president.
All right, a very tough spot.
My God,
I love how Brett Baer has to get it and just be like, well, actually, just in the nature of not being completely fucking moronic, it was the venue. He's not going to do that at the State of the Union.
You know, that is something, though. I mean, because you don't think that when they say that, they don't know their audience. I mean, really now, come on. Just by wondering out loud if Obama's going to start using the N-word in a venue like the State of the Union. You know what they want their viewers to think Obama's going to show up to give his State of the Union address and go, N-word, 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 N-word. I mean, really, that's what they said to invoke that sort of imagery in their audience's mind, really. And then that way their audience goes, well, why can't we say it then? I mean, and another thing they said, it's going to bring up discussion if, whether people can use that word or not. No, it's not going to bring up a discussion of whether people can use that word or not. And I know, Fox News, a very specific color people you're talking about. White people. And I guarantee you, you know what? You're right. In your circles, there's going to be a real discussion about, if the president can say it, why can't we say it? Steve Ducey. It's Brian Kilmeade. Elizabeth Hasselbeck.
Brian Kilmeade had actually just found out what the word was the day before, so it was a learning experience for him.
I mean, they really are that dumb.
Brian Kilmeade is, like watching him do that show is like watching a learning journey of a not that inquisitive student.
And I mean, it's look, you can't watch this and just not think to yourself, like, what? Like, how is this something that you're allowed to go on TV and say?
You're supposed to go on TV and say it.
I did enjoy, by the way, their inability. I wanted to leave that in as a bit of a, something to listen to and actually laugh at without being disgusted. Their inability to know how to say Marc Maron's name.
Well, Marc Maron.
That was fun.
That's biting.
Wait, don't
Sam.
you mean Greg Maron?